I'll just take our blood and we'll run it. This is why they tell you never treat your family. Stupid. But of course, these lessons you have to learn yourself because you think you're keeping it private and only you can do the great job you need done. In reality, you can't deal with the results. So anyway, I took his blood, and we took my blood, and then ran it, and his was not just barely positive, it was way positive. If you just turn positive, you will have, of the 15 bands of antibodies that your body makes to the different proteins of HIV, you might have 3 bands. If you've been infected for many years, you can have 15 bands. He had 15 bands.
You not know?
Listen. So anyway, I agonized over this. You know, how do you tell somebody you're probably going to die? Because there wasn't hardly anything on the market then to treat this. And he wasn't sick or anything, but he had been infected for quite some time. And so I agonized, and I was a nightmare person to be around. I was a just awful person. And then I got really drunk, and I tried to figure out how to tell him. And finally I just said, you know, I can't put it off anymore. I put it off for like 4 weeks. Finally I said, Paul, come in here and sit down. I got something really serious to discuss with you. And I said, okay, here are our results. Here's mine, I'm negative, and here's yours. You have 15 bands. That means you've been infected a long time. He said, I know. I said, what? Why did you want to stop using the condom? Because I thought it was something we could share and it would bind us together. People are crazy. Did you know that? Don't ever trust a person with your life, not even your wife or husband. I don't think anyone can be trusted with your life unless you're willing to deal with the repercussions.
What did you say to that?
Oh, I freaked out, threw him out. But you know what's funny is they did a study at USC, and I know people are going to say, this is USC, University of Spoiled Children. But of the people, they just did a student body survey, and they said, if you were HIV positive, would you tell your current person that you've been dating or having sex with for a long time? 30% of the girls said no, and 47% of the boys said no. And when we asked them why you would say no, guess what they said? Not only would they not tell them they were positive, they wouldn't suggest using condoms because that would bring up questions that they didn't want to answer. And that they wouldn't tell people because it would be unlikely they would get sex again from that person that they were in love with. So that's the way the real world works. Ooh is right. So anyway, in doing this experiment, we fed ourselves the same thing you feed yourselves. What do you feed yourselves? What kind of food? What runs in here? In little stuff. Blood serum. That's what nutrifies your cells. Blood serum. All your vitamins, hormones, nutrients, minerals, carbohydrates, lipids, everything, amino acids, are in your blood serum. And so to grow human cells in a laboratory, we feed them fetal calf serum. Why? Well, we eat a lot of beef in this country, and whenever cows are sent to slaughter, a lot of them are pregnant. And when they're pregnant, remember that fetus has never seen viruses or protists or bacteria. So it is in a sterile environment, isolated from, and it's pure blood serum. So we basically slaughter the cow, drag out the fetus, and drain the blood. And separate out the serum, and that becomes what we feed animal cells, particularly human cells, and we keep them in a carbon dioxide incubator, and that's fine. So we said to the FDA, we're going to grow this HIV in a T-cell line that's continuous, and we're going to feed it fetal calf serum. And they said, no, you're not. He said, yeah, that's what we're doing. He said, no, you're not. And we said, why? And they said, to give a human being a vaccine or any sort of medication or drug, the FDA requires that you know every atom of everything that's in there. So, that means that one cow could have different fetal calf serum than another. What if that mama cow ate grass that was covered with a pesticide? Or maybe was downstream for the Columbia River where they're leaking radioactive waste into the river. So, not every atom of everything would be known. So we said, well then what are we going to do? And they said, you're going to have to make synthetic blood serum. And we said, what do you mean? And they said, you're going to have to send it to something, and we sent it to Dow, a sample of human blood serum, and they replicated it from scratch. In other words, they handmade every protein that's in there and every nutrient that was in there, and this became synthetic blood serum. Now, fetal calf serum costs $60. What? Did it die?
It's dying, but this
Plug it in.
doesn't fit.
Yeah, it does.
Where does it go?